Welcome to The Funniest Thing.
Yes.
Where each week we share stories about how stepping out boldly always leads to better than expected outcomes.
Thank God.
I'm Darrell.
I'm Ed.
And we're broadcasting live from...
We are at CHOBO Studios in beautiful downtown Van Nuys.
That's right.
Yes.
A real tourist trap. So what do we got, Ed?
What do we got? We got a heck of a show. Today's show is called... Let me take these sunglasses off. There was once a fan that said that they can't take us seriously, but we don't want them to take us seriously when wearing sunglasses in the studio. But I will put on these. All right.
Get to the point!
You're making it so hard. The show is called To Be or Not to Be with Jason Stuart. The choice is ours. We can express ourselves or worry about what others will think. The opposite of depression is expression. In the Bible, it's admonished that we don't hide our light under a bushel. Suppressing ourselves for fear of what others might think has an adverse effect on our mind, body, and affairs. However, when we let ourselves out of the closet, we align ourselves with the positive stream of life and become a magnet.
Hold on just a second. So you just had an affair, and now you're out of the closet. Just want to get these points straight. Okay.
That's why you're here, sir.
Okay.
All right. On this episode, Darrell and Ed and Jason Stuart will encourage each other and listeners to step up onto the stage of life. And during the second segment, which is actually right now, actor/comedian Jason Stuart reminds us that the audience loves us with today's reading, which is direction. How are you, Jason Stuart?
I'm very direct.
I noticed.
Oh, my God. And I love your T-shirt. We were talking before in the Greenwell when they were supposed to be giving me a sandwich from Starbucks, but I got one from McDonald's. And it was quite a shock, and emotionally, I'm just trying to feel what just happened to me. And I was so hungry, and I had to take my vitamins, so I didn't know what to do. Openly, he was worried that he would upset me with openly gay.
No, actually...
it's gray. I'm sorry.
Yeah, our engineer was a little concerned.
Well, because he's young, and he's a little snowflake, and you know how those kids are. Everything bothers them.
Yeah.
You're number 43 in the contest. Oh, great,
Well, yeah. Don't say openly gay around Jason, because you know he's gay.
I'm only gay on the weekends. I can't be gay every day.
Well, then we're in luck, folks, because we're recording this on Saturday.
Yeah.
So I got to tell you a little miracle story about this openly gray T-shirt. So Jason reached out to us right after we had another comedian,
my friend Jackie Monahan.
And
I said, God, this is a cool show. Can I be on it?
And anyone who gives us any sort of love and appreciation,
we get two things.
Immediately wins us over.
And
so
we get scared that we said yes.
We get scared that we
Did you get scared that you said yes to me?
Yeah, because we didn't know if you knew what the show was really about.
It's about God and Jesus?
Well, a little bit, but it's basic.
Jesus was a Jew, and he's really cute in all the pictures. So,
there you go.
The most famous guy without a publicist.
He is, yeah. And he only had 12 followers.
Yeah, and he had that great Last Supper. No women. Perfect.
There you go. All right.
Well, then we're in good standing. But what happened was after you said yes to the show, we go downtown to eat in beautiful downtown Burbank after the show.
I like it there. You can't find a place to park, but I like it.
Yes, and there's a Goodwill there. We walk in the Goodwill, and we knew you were in some of your publicity materials said, Edward,
that I was openly gay.
Openly gay. So in the Goodwill, what are the chances that day is this openly gray T-shirt? So
I don't know. It's a long time to get to this story. No, but a long time. Yeah, but yeah, and it's what I would have to do. What I would do is I would take a red marker and I would cut out, put a cross on the R.
I'll give this to you after the show for being a guest.
Oh, thank you, because you'll never wear it again.
I might wear it again.
I'm not going to wear something that says openly gray. I'm not old.
If we're lucky, he'll rip it off during the show and hand it to you.
Oh, really? Is there something to see?
Well, Darrell, why don't you tell everyone how to be a member of the Funniest Thing Club, man?
Oh, yeah.
We're not used to having a pro comedian sitting in here with us, but we'll try to get through some of the stuff.
Well, you might already be. I wonder if Jason, he seems like he is already a member of the Funniest Thing Club.
Yes.
Because whether or not you think you are one, you may already be one. And I'll describe what we are. We're a group of truth enthusiasts who live each day as ambassadors of God's love. And as we consciously radiate love, We perform everyday miracles and experience better than expected outcomes. If you're already living this way or strive to.
Wait. I need a miracle. I really do. Can I put in for things that I want?
Yeah,
or-
of course.
Of course.
What kind of miracle are you looking for?
Oh, well, okay. First, I'd like to find a husband. I want a guy who has a car and does not live in it. That's what Somebody
Okay.
smart, a little younger than me, because I need someone to push my chair.
Okay.
And
Oh, dude,
so I need
come
someone
on.
that's great. Wikipedia wrote about me recently. So a lot of people say, how do you get a Wikipedia page? I don't know. I think I got the page before they really, needed people. I think they just sort of, when it first started, I've always been on it. And I never had a personal section, ever.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden a personal section popped up, and it said in there at the end of it, it said, Jason Stuart said in an interview that every relationship that he's been in has been a failure. So there's no place to go but up. And I said that in an interview somewhere, I don't remember. Mm-hmm. And, I thought to myself, because I could go into a room and I could find the guy that I'm attracted to is the one that's unavailable. It doesn't matter. It's like I'm like psychic. If you're not interested, I want you.
Right. Interesting.
Wow. That's a big reveal.
That is a big reveal. You heard that here first. Well, probably not first, but
Yeah,
So you think you could find me someone? Are you
Well,
able to do this?
100%.
well, I'll tell you what.
Oh, look at him without even a breath.
Well, yeah.
yeah.
No
man.
breath. 100%.
You saw me. I ran out of the room, was hugging you on the front line.
I know you scared the shit out of me. I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say that on your show?
Oh yeah, man.
Okay.
Podcast. YouTube,
Well,
we can say
I mean,
whatever.
if you don't know what you want, you're not going to.
Oh, I do.
You're not
I want
going
him
to
to look
get.
exactly like Esai Morales, but not be a criminal like he is on most of the shows.
Well, there you go, man. Dude, that's easy, man. That's an easy delivery.
Yes,
That is an easy delivery.
it is.
Yeah, you probably don't realize how many of those very people you're pushing away at times because of something else you're doing.
Of course
right?
I do. I'm Jewish. I've been in therapy since day one.
Okay, good. At least you got that part down.
I was in therapy before I could walk.
Right. Hey, should we thank the people that are contributing to Patreon?
Yes, let's.
What is
do it.
Thank you so
Patreon?
much
I've
for-
heard that a lot.
Oh, we're gonna
it's-
fill
it's-
you
Is that
in.
where the girls are naked and they walk around? And
Oh
then you
no,
give
that's
them-
like fans only.
Oh,
I
fans
think.
only.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Patreon is where
Yes.
loving people contribute monthly to the show. So
Oh yes, my friend Jay Rodriguez, who's on Couples and was in Bros and Queer Eye.
Yeah.
He does that now, and
Yeah.
he has a whole show where they get to hear the latest gossip and what he's
Yeah,
doing.
yeah. We've been using it. People have been contributing monthly to the show. Grace Deathridge this month changed her. Remember, she asked about it. She moved up how much she's donating a
Oh,
month.
thank you.
Because we do believe that when you circulate your prosperity, your money in ways that in towards things that you enjoy and love, that it actually puts you in a place where more comes back to you, and the more you can get over this fear of money, the more.
Yeah, but let's be honest.
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
so sweet. You just want to support people that you dig.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Forget all the other stuff.
Yeah,
Honestly, it's
I
just
agree.
supporting people that
I agree.
These guys are artists. They're trying to do their work and they want to be supported. If they have
Yeah.
good people, give them some cash.
Totally.
If they don't,
Yeah.
then move on and watch, some other loser.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and the energy that is released from being able to go like, I can support things I love instead of I
Yes.
don't have enough to support things
But
I
that's
love.
what's so great about the internet.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like 1949 and, Betty White is on a show,
Yeah.
And she gets an Emmy and the rest of us, don't. And
Right.
Yeah, but that's what it started with. TV was like that. in the
Yeah.
1940s.
Right.
All of a sudden, people were just doing it. You were doing a variety show for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You come back. Oh, there she is again.
Yeah.
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 Sid Caesar, when he was doing his show,
Your show of shows. NBC.
It was so new, the medium. He didn't realize that he was even popular, and then he would start walking home in New York from the studio, and all of a sudden, like neighbors and stuff would be shouting out the windows.
Oh yeah,
And he
I
was
Love
like-
Lucy was the same way. They wondered
Yeah.
they had to shut down certain. I guess whatever night it was on TV, they had to move it to a night that wasn't the same night that Broadway shows were.
Right.
I think they moved it to Monday nights.
Right.
Because or something like that. I'm not remembering completely, but because the show was so popular, people wouldn't go out or they wouldn't go to restaurants. And that's how popular
Wow.
TV
Yeah.
was. Yeah. In those days.
Wow. That's amazing. I love that. So if you want to send anything to the show, by the way, funniest thing, P.O. Box 1312, Culver City, California,
1312. My
90232. What's
My
that?
birthday is the 13th.
Well, there you have it, buddy.
Some sort of numerological Barbra Streisand connection.
Check this postcard out, Jay Stu. We have our friend named Kirk Chelson. We call him Kirky. He's in. I'll pass it over to you. He's from Germany.
Dusseldorf.
Oh, well, Jews in Germany. Perfect.
We used to make a joke about who my great-great-grandfather was because he's German.
Hitler? No.
We were worried that he was maybe the happiest guy at the ovens. No one knew.
no.
But it turns out that in 1864, he jumped on a boat and came to the United States and fought just immediately joined the Union Army and fought in the Civil War.
Well, I'm glad he wasn't the other.
Yeah.
Because I'd have to go there. Would be the door for me.
Right.
Yeah.
I know. That would have been terrible. So Kirky sent us from a quote from Ernest Holmes. Because a lot of what we talk about is the way our thinking affects our life.
Yes.
And you're here to cut through the molasses.
I try every day.
Yeah.
I try every day to change my thinking.
Well, let's see
Yeah.
what Ernest Holmes said on this postcard here. We do not create. We use the power of the one mind which creates for us. Our beliefs and our deep-seated convictions inevitably outpicture and reflect themselves in our experiences and our environment, both in the physical condition of the body and the larger world of our affairs. What we outwardly are and what we are to become depends on what we are thinking.
Darrell, you got to read it with a little more enthusiasm.
Well, he's Ed, first of all.
Oh, that's what I said. Ed. Yeah, you're Darrell.
Yeah.
And you're Ed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You got to read it with. Can I have the postcard?
Yeah, take
please?
another.
Oh, wait, here. I'll
Right
give you
here,
let's give you this one.
Well,
Okay.
you-
Give him
did
a
you
new
wanna-
one.
Oh, that's
Okay.
a new one.
Yeah.
This is from.
Kirk.
First, check out the picture on the other side, will you?
Show him the picture. Tell him what it says.
It's a picture that looks like it'd be an art gallery that would make me go, "Oh God, people are paying for this." No,
What was it
It looks like it. Did this get messed up?
I think it had my face on it. and
It looks a
came
little.
off.
I do like
the
it. It's
mail.
fun. It looks a little bit like a Keith Haring, a little bit like that.
Okay.
I would like maybe. I don't know. The idea that there's no face sort of scares me.
Well, I think my face was on it, but it got peeled off in the mail.
Oh,
Yeah, send him this one.
You know,
for an
you're
example.
right.
Hey,
you're
take
right.
a look at this, Jason.
But
This
read
is an
what it
example.
says on
It
the
says
bottom.
Fuzz. Is that what they call you? Is that your name?
Fuzzy Fazaro. My last name's Fazaro.
Oh, I thought it was something to do with something else. We are immersed in an we are immersed in an infinite creative medium which, because of its nature, must create after the pattern our thoughts give it. Jesus Christ understood that, and in a few simple words laid down the law of life. It is done to you and yours, and you must believe.
No, as you believe.
That's what I said.
Okay.
You just
Show
read
him
me.
this
Now,
picture.
see, it's not so easy to read.
But I did it
Kirky's
better
writing.
than him. Please write in. Who did it better?
It's, oh, you
Send
want
him the
oh,
picture. I want you to see this picture.
Okay.
That's normally how they come. With our
Oh my God, your heads are so small.
What does it say?
And you have a tiny, tiny little penis. Look at it. It's just the smallest
We
thing.
just got out of some cold water.
No, you didn't. There's no water in this picture. Are you satisfied with the size of your head? Well, no, not really.
Well, and this one from Kirky says meditation helps lunatics.
See, the whole Jesus thing, I am a Jew, so I think Jesus is probably really interesting. But what's really most interesting about it, I always like talking about this, is that I think whatever you believe, and if it makes you feel good, then you should do it, as long as it doesn't hurt you or hurt others.
Yes.
And as long as it doesn't create a falsehood for yourself that you don't want to reach where you're reaching. It doesn't stop you.
Yes.
So I believe, everything is with me was a grain of salt, because I know that in my family, 4 Jews can't decide in a car where to go to eat. Right. So, and if there's a story in my family, like this is probably sort of stereotypical, but my friend Ernie, he's Christian, and he'll talk about stuff in his family. He'll say, "Oh yeah, that was 20 years before we knew about that." Well, in my family, that takes about 5 minutes.
Right.
Everything is always told.
Yeah.
So there's no way that I believe that Jesus being a Jew and having our culture with all this stuff. I think what people don't realize is the Bible is like a movie or a TV show or a book, or a book or a story, and it's in today's or a stage play, and it's meant to teach you something and to share experience.
Yes.
Right.
So it's not always exact,
Right.
and it's not always from your point of view. It depends on who did it, and it's interpreted.
Yes.
It's like Jesus is interpreted in the Bible as looking more Mediterranean or black and having kinkier hair and then all the pictures, he's this blonde goyish goddess.
Right.
It's like, oh, Barbara Streisand picked him out.
Right.
It's Robert Redford or one of the guys from one of her movies, or Ryan O'Neal. Yes. And I think that that's what we all do, is we change things to make it work for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it isn't, and then we leave people out without really knowing it.
Right.
And I think it's really important to know, if somebody says this is the fact and this is it, I always close down a little in my head.
Oh yeah.
You got to be
100%.
open to it's really about feelings and about direction and about kindness. That's the most important thing.
Yes.
When I meet a guy or meet a friend, is kindness.
I agree.
I have a brand new friend, Amanda Burse. I don't know if you remember her from Married with Children. She played Marcy. She's one of my.
Oh yeah. She directed a bunch of
and
the
she's
shows.
a big director.
Yeah.
Well, she's been a big director for literally 30 years.
Yeah.
And then she's in Bros now, the Billy Eichner film. She plays the boyfriend's mom. And she and I just connected, and we've been really, wonderful friends for the last year. It's like I've known her my whole life.
Right.
And she's just really, really sort of cool. And I forgot the point of what I was saying.
You were talking about kindness.
Kindness. And we both said that that's what we look for in a friend. And there's a simpatico. With people in show business, you can't really talk to everybody like you talk to people who've been through really big success, and then the drop of not having it, and then it coming back and forth and stuff.
Yeah.
Wow,
Wow, you
yeah.
really summed up so
I feel like yeah. Did you fall asleep? Tell the truth. Did you zone out?
No.
He starts to jump like a puppy. The happier I get, I start to say, I just relax.
So you're like one of those dogs with the heads that go like this in the back.
Well,
of the
I
car.
do. I told you I teach special ed during the week.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I do like 5 shows a day, 6 shows a day, Monday through Friday.
Entertaining these kids to get them to learn
Yeah,
something.
yeah. So a lot of this time is like reflective time for me, like hearing what you're saying. I'm like thinking about how I apply it like how I apply it in my day. And this is like kind of like a time for me to reflect on everything I've been experiencing. So that's why I think I kind of like get into this very
I'm teasing you.
relaxed zone. Yeah.
No, not today, Satan.
I really liked what you said, and I was thinking because we knew we were doing the show, and we knew what the topic was this week, and
What's the topic?
The topic is to be or not to be.
Oh, I thought
suppressing.
I thought it was
things
about affairs and being in the closet.
Well, that was your interpretation.
Yeah, we all apply it, like I said, to our own life.
To be or not, it's funny because when I started lecturing in the colleges, I used to do a show called "To Be or Not to Be," whether it would to be because in the '90s when I first came out. Having a gay person in a college was a really big deal. Yeah. I came out in 1993 on the Geraldo show, which is 30 years.
Whoa.
So this is honestly my first show that I'm talking about my anniversary.
Oh, wow.
It's 30 years since I came out as an openly gay actor and comedian. And the reason they say openly gay, and I'll give you the history on that, is because there's a lot of gay people, LGBTQ people. I say gay because I'm old. And LGBTQ people in our industry and everywhere who have not been out, who have been closeted or who have just been uncomfortable or afraid for violence or losing their job. And there's still states now where you can lose your job for being gay. You can lose your family and all sorts of things like that. So I did a lecture called To Be or Not to Be, and then it changed to coming out in Hollywood, making it to the middle.
Well, I this is what I don't think many people. Well, I think most of the people that tune into this show can relate to the fact to identify with you, not in such an extreme way, but if we're all honest, we all suppress ourselves in some way because we're overly concerned about what we think other people might think, and that kind of is a killer. And that's why it was. When I saw you doing your comedy, your stand-up comedy, and you were, a best way to describe it, don't take any offense, is like the gay Don Rickles.
Why would that be offense? My God, Don Rickles, if you don't know, go and Google him, was one of the funniest comedians ever.
But I didn't want you to think I'm...
not at all.
Good.
That's what a compliment.
Okay, so because...
I told you, my wife, when I was doing my research, my wife...
I have a wife too.
My wife in the other side of the house was like, who is that? She was dying laughing just hearing it from afar. So we were very excited.
Good Christian who believes in Jesus. See, they all love me.
Well, here's the thing. This is why, because you're not suppressing anything about yourself. You're being vulnerable, and you're also being loving, which Don Rickles was master at skewering people because it was loving. And the irony of his giving it to people, and the same with you, with the audience.
Yeah.
Because we have that experience in the audience, bringing out what shouldn't be talked about, but is being talked about, but it's being out now. It's out in such a loving way. We all feel like we're in love with one another in the audience, and you.
But it's really, I don't really talk about anything that's really anything. Except sort of silly stuff about the ideas of how we should present ourselves.
Exactly.
Yes.
But those things aren't silly because a lot of us hold back.
I guess
because
so.
we think those silly things are real. Psychiatrists even coined this term. They call that FOPO, fear of other people's opinion.
Oh, that's the new thing. Yes.
Yeah. But it's not a new thing.
Oh, it isn't?
No, we've all had silly ideas.
I thought social media started all that.
Well, I think that just made it more obvious to all of us if we're even a shred aware of how you feel when you're about to post something and what you're presenting. But I think all my life I was, depending on who told us what, my father wasn't the best guy to have around for your self-esteem. He thought he was building me up, but it really didn't work,
Oh, please. My grandparents were Polish immigrants who'd come back from the Holocaust, not the camps, but the ghettos, hiding in, basements and attics and farms and everything. And my grandmother learned to speak English from television, and she'd look at you, she'd say, look at Ed and say, Ed, why are you wearing that stupid hat? It looks stupid on you.
Yeah.
Why can't you wear a shirt with the collar? Who
Yeah.
are you?
Right.
Who are you to me? Who are you?
Right.
I used to, and it wasn't, she learned to speak English from TV. So, or she'd walk into my mom's house and she'd go with her hand, she'd go on the table and something. She'd go, oh, so Gloria, you done clean?
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Well, that stuff,
it kills you.
It kills us. I read this morning in one of the readings. It says, we think our words, we say some things to people. And I was also reflecting on things that were said to me.
Right.
And it says, we think our words don't really have that much of effect on others. But it says, when we say words that are not that nice, it's like an axe hitting a piece of wood. And although it may be forgiven, it still leaves a little notch. And now it's all about unlearning, reminding myself, hey, the stuff my father said, doesn't have to continue to, I don't have to continue to live by the beliefs that my father created within me by what he said,
Well, we have this thing about
ago.
Gay people have this thing about family, and a lot of gay people and LGBTQ people out there have been disowned from their families, so had to create their own families.
Right.
It's sort of what I did. I sort of grew up as an adult by myself until probably around 6 or 7 years ago, when I started helping take care of my mom, who's she's 85 and still shops at Forever 71, and she's great. And we live in this fourplex. I live up here, and then she lives right over here. It's like an L for loser, because that's what I am. Because I have no one. Yeah, I live next door to her.
Oh, wow.
Hashtag I don't live with my mother. I live next door.
That is a big difference.
Oh yeah, and very big. Yeah, because she can't get up the stairs.
Yeah.
And kids throw balls on my lawn. I keep them now. And if they're over 21, they get to stay. Okay. But I didn't have a lot of family growing up, so I created my own family among my own friends, and that's what I think a lot of people have to do. Sometimes you can love somebody, or you can grow up with them. Like my brother has been angry at me since since I was born, and and I just got tired of it. So I didn't. It's not like I was awful to him or just yelled at him, and I just didn't know what to say anymore.
Yeah.
His ability to forgive is really not at all. His ability to take responsibility for his side of the street just didn't work.
Yeah.
But when I talk to him, I'm very kind, and I like, and when I see him, it's nice.
Right.
But I just don't I don't live for it anymore. I don't go, can I knock on the door? Can I come in? Can I come in?
Yeah.
That's so
my whole
smart.
career, my whole life. Can I come in?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I come in?
Oh my God. You know what we call that?
And then I joked about the unavailable boyfriends.
Yeah.
That's what I do, is
Yes.
I pick people who aren't available
Yes.
because my family was unavailable.
Yeah, well,
I
we
heard that.
call that. I knew that was going to come out during the show. We call Ed and I referred to that as going to with hat in hand,
Or leading with the chin.
leading with the chin. I think, I should call this person. I haven't talked to them in a while, and it's someone.
But you know what I do when that comes up?
What do you do?
Is I sit there and go, why do I want to do that? Oh, and then I think, What do I have? No, and then I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
Yes.
And until I know what to say,
Yeah.
I don't do anything.
No, that's smart.
Yeah.
Because that's me falling into that old pattern of trying
And you're
to get
way,
some
way
sort of
too
approval.
old to do that anymore.
Yeah,
no
Right
kidding.
now. Way too old.
Yeah. Anything
I'm
that's
older than you.
Yeah, well, what age, depending? How old am I?
Am I allowed to let the audience?
Sure, go ahead.
You are 52.
Oh, okay. That's good age. I'll be that.
Aren't you?
I don't know.
No,
yeah.
You got it. Like
Whatever.
53.
No, 53.
Okay, cool. That's it. Whatever you say.
Well, now they know how old I am.
Well, you're almost dead.
I'm getting there.
It's a good lead into my series because I do a series on Amazon and Reverie, and it's on Apple TV and it's even on YouTube. It's called Smothered, and it's about these two guys who have been in a relationship for 30 years, 40 years, 19, 12, 6, and they've been in a relationship for 30 years and they hate each other but can't afford to get divorced. So it's about codependent.
Oh my God, that's
it's about
wow.
codependent
Amazing.
relationships.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to watch it, you go to smotheredtv.com. And I won the best actor in an indie series last year, and I was just. It's funny because I didn't think I was going to win because everybody was younger than me, and I thought, they're all the young cool kids who watch that. And when I got up on stage, I remember I was going to say, "Oh God, this just took forever," and I said something like, "If you can see it online, the acceptance speech," and I said something like, "God, this has taken such a long time," and I started to get really choked up.
Of course.
Because I realized, and people at home go, "Oh, awards, it seems so self-serving."
Right.
It is, but it really is. You forget that we're in a room with a couple 500 people or whatever,
Right.
who have all worked in the same industry as you, especially in the indie world.
Yeah.
And they've worked in the same industry as you, and they understand what it takes to create your own series. Rich Hara, the brilliant Rich Hara, and I, my friend, we created the series together. We wrote the series together. We acted it together. We did the hair. We did the makeup. We did everything we could. We had makeup and hair people, but we did everything we could. We did fight about the makeup and hair once. I'm sorry about that, Mitch. That part was my fault.
Yeah.
And we did, create this ourselves.
That's
and we Mitch has this thing where he says, we don't wait for permission to create.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's
That's
about
right.
these older people, and we've had managers and everybody tell us, you got to have younger people, it's got to be, because they don't think, why would anybody want to see a series about two older gay men in a relationship? Like, why would anybody want a series about 4 older women in their 50s, who are living in Miami, and one of them is an older grandmother.
Yeah.
I think it was called Golden Girls. I'm
Right.
not very successful.
Right.
That's one of the most successful shows on TV, but
totally.
when they wanted to do it, nobody wanted to hear about a bunch of 50-year-old women in their sex lives and their dating and their relationship with their parents and their children. And these people that run things sometimes are just full of shit.
That's right.
They don't really, they just are they have such a bias for aging. It's like in Los Angeles or in California, though I love California. I look fabulous.
We're going to stop the timer real quick because it's going to beep.
It's good. Indy, the engineer, his hot
Hot
pocket
goes
is
off
about,
in the middle of the show.
and I didn't want you to be interrupted by his hot pocket.
Indy, what are you having today, buddy?
It's pepperoni.
Pepperoni Hot Pocket. All right.
Well, I would eat something with a vegetable.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's important that we show all walks of life.
Right.
And that we don't stand, or rather get on our knees to the fountain of youth. It's
100%.
It really is, and the idea of all this, like, I've never had any work done.
And you look great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look amazing.
Yeah, I'm 78. And
You are not 78.
everything's been done. It's not me. I'm not even here. I'm a hologram.
CGI these days.
Yeah.
Is amazing.
But it's true. We just don't seem to care. I go to my dentist office and I walk in there and there's all the pictures all over the wall of people and their teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's only one person over 50.
In the pictures.
Yeah, we're not. We don't. I go to the Gap. We're not there.
Right.
I go everywhere we go. You notice when you hit 50,
Right.
all of a sudden, even on the dating sites, it's 50 to death because we're all exactly alike.
You got to get like me. You got to live in denial. I go in these places and I think those pictures are me. Till I see a mirror.
I get yeah. I want to do the opposite. I want to actually lift up people.
Yeah.
I think lifting up people. I did a film 6 or 7 years ago called The Birth of a Nation about black abolitionist Nat Turner. The whole film was created, written, starring, produced, directed by the brilliant Nate Parker. And it was the most incredible experience. I played a white heterosexual Christian plantation owner in 1831. If you want to see the movie, you can see it, The Birth of a Nation, on Amazon for a couple $. It's brilliant. And it's about this guy who was the first black man to fight white slave owners, which is me. There's 3 slave owners. There's rape, murder, and torture. I was rape.
Oh,
and,
I see.
And the incredible part, people would constantly ask me when I was doing red carpets or interviews, and they'd say things like, how did you feel about that? What's your opinion? I said, you know what I did in the making of this film is I took off my shoes. I put on the shoes of my black brothers and sisters, and I just shut up and listened.
Right.
Because I thought that was the time to do that, to really become educated about white privilege, to really become educated about generational wealth, and to really understand where I came from and where black people came from in this country, and to understand things from a different point of view. And as an actor, oh my God, to be in a film that taught me something that I did not know. And I thought I was the most liberal guy on the planet, liberal Jewish gay guy. Right. And I thought, wow, I'm there. No, I had so much to learn. Yeah. And sometimes my opinion is not important. Sure. Sometimes it's really about lifting people up. Yeah. And listening to them. Right. And
100%.
Yeah, because you teach special ed. Yeah. So you've got a lot of special needs kids. And you don't know what it's really, no matter what you do, there's no way for you to really know what their life is like.
Yeah. I appreciate you saying that, because even a lot of the stuff that's supposed to be in support of my students, it's always often coming from a parent of someone else who thinks they know. But my whole thing is just getting to know my actual students and finding out how can I support them to have a better experience at school and in life. That's the only thing I aim for.
Lifting them up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because we don't lift people up.
Yeah, and listening and loving them as they are, like you were describing, is I don't even have to have answers. I listen and I love, and then I use whatever comes through me with my experience. But like you said, and I've been speaking out in my meetings more, because I was getting ready to leave this whole thing behind like 3 months ago. Thanks to the show, people like you coming on.
Leaving teaching?
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot. How long have you been doing it?
25 years.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So,
because you're carrying those people with you.
And I'm still considering that. But what I'm also doing is, while I'm there, I'm not no holds barred. I'm just letting everyone know at staff meetings what I really think, what's really going on. And now they're getting to see me. People are coming to me to appreciate me more, and seeing the kids through a different lens through that I've been sharing. It's been amazing now that I'm just like not holding on to the job so much and just letting go and sharing what I have and listening. It's been amazing. It's really been reinvigorating me, like as a creative, because I'm a creative person, and it's easy to not feel creative in that environment. But I've just been, like you said, not waiting for someone else to tell me when I can start to create, and I've just been doing it. And it's been amazing.
If you open yourself up, it's like I always say to somebody, they say, oh God, this relationship is terrible. I said, I wish I could be with somebody. Well, if you don't let go of that relationship, you're never going to find the person you want to be with.
Yes. Right.
Because no one's going to want to date the guy or gal that's in a relationship with somebody. So some people want to wait until something else is there to go.
Yeah.
It never works.
No, because, it doesn't work for one reason. Because if you're in a relationship with him, why would I, and you're interested in me, why would I want a guy that's in a relationship with somebody else that's going to leave that guy for me, because he's going to do the same thing to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I thought, I don't want that guy that's willing to leave somebody for something better. That's awful.
Well, that's Madonna said it best.
What did she say?
She said, satin sheets are fine, but what happens when you're not there? Remember Material Girl?
Oh. I don't know.
You don't know Material Girl?
Of course I do, but I don't remember that.
You're going to have to listen to that on the ride back to Palm Springs.
What you said, too, in my case is so good, too, because what I did not want to do is go, I got beat up by this job, and I had to leave. I've been saying, I've been appreciating it more.
Yes.
And then I've been talking to people, like I know people who are starting their own businesses related to this, and I've just been consulting with them, but not charging them or anything, just telling them, I'll help you however you want, because I enjoy doing it. And then they're going, oh, you could come work with us eventually. So just by sharing freely and enjoying life more, and not being the guy who's like, someone save me from this thing that I'm being victimized by, but instead of saying, no, I chose to do this for this long. I'm blessing and I'm appreciating, and I'm looking around and just joyously opening up to the new
And
possibilities.
to say no once in a while.
Yes,
Yeah.
big time.
That's the big one.
I've been an actor and I've been a comedian 40 years, and I've been an actor even more since I was a baby boy.
Yeah.
I've been in 160 something film and TV shows
Right.
as an actor, another 150 or 120, I don't even know what it is, as a comedian on TV and interviews and all that kind of stuff. And I started to say no after Birth of a Nation because I wanted to be involved with things that were really good and that moved me to the next place artistically.
Yes.
And it's hard.
Yes.
Because, you know, like last year was the year of being appreciated, but not as much work as I'd been used to. I did one movie and I did one really cool podcast, which is like a radio show with people like Ed O'Neill and Elliot Gould and Brian Cox from Succession. And I did that, and I did a pilot with Carol Burnett. I didn't even know she was in it. An animation pilot called The Burbles, and I did a little straight boy comedy called Garlic Parmesan. And then I did the last episode a year and a half ago of one of the last episodes of Goliath with J.K. Simmons, who scared the shit out of me, and it starred the David E. Kelly series Goliath with Billy Bob Thornton.
Right.
So I wanted to do that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I wanted to work with people that challenged me and scared me a little.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do that, and my own series, Smothered with Mitch Hara. And I wanted to do that, and I wanted to do things of quality. And it's hard because I want to work and I want to be involved.
Right.
But I'm thinking, God, I have to leave myself open. And then I was up for a Bradley Cooper film. I was up for, Hacks. I was up for, I was called back on Station 19 like a million times. Different, and all these things start to come in a different way, and I'm starting to compete in a different way. So if you're out there and you're an artist and you want to do that, you have to say no to the things that are not going to bring you to the next place and that you don't feel right about.
That's the key. That's the key, that you don't feel right about.
Some guy wanted me to play an art critic and wear a diaper. And I thought, why am I wearing a diaper? Oh, it's funny. I said, well, that's not happening.
Yeah.
You'd have to be Spike Lee or Martin Scorsese to make me wear a diaper on camera.
Well, it really
tasteful diaper.
Well, you said a lot of things. I just want to reemphasize. The one is, like, when Ed was talking about his job, it's clear you cannot move. You can't hang on to this that I don't really like, but it's safe. But I really want to go over there. I have to make
it's scary. That's what it is. It's really scary.
That's the
and
scary.
it's scary because you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And it's like going into a show like Goliath. Bruce Stern, 2-time Academy Award nominee. Oscar winner, J.K. Simmons.
Yes.
Haley Joel Osment from The Sixth Sense, Oscar nominee. I mean, these are Billy Bob Thornton, Oscar winner, one of the top in his field.
Yeah.
You're going up for shows like that and you're working with those kind of people. It's really like that's, you got to hold on, like Charlton Heston and Ben-Hur. You're holding on to the little thing while you go through that. And then you got to say, am I worthy of doing this?
Yes.
Can I hold my own with these people?
Yes. But don't you find when you step into it, this ability rises up that you didn't realize
and I'm going to tell you something
had?
else too. Sometimes you're in that place and you make mistakes.
Yeah.
The director gave me an adjustment and I forgot the line, and then I did it and he said do it again and I forgot it again and I said, oh, forgive me. And J.K. Simmons says, Jason, you're only here for one day. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm. And then the love came.
Oh yeah, and then I did that. I said, "Can I start from the beginning of the scene and do that and work my way?" He said, "Yes," because he had me change the timbre of what I was doing in the scene, and I nailed it. And then I said to him after, I said, "God, I'm sorry I did that." He said, "Jason, we're not going to use the tape where you made the mistake.
Right.
We're going to use the one where you nailed it."
Yeah.
That's because I forgot.
Right.
I forgot that I'm just here working.
That's right.
We're just working.
That's right.
Everything doesn't have to be perfect all the time.
That's right.
I gotta say, there's an actress, I can't remember her name, this older actress. She's in everything as a character actor. She's got to be at least
my favorite
80
people.
80 now. And you know what she said recently?
Who was? Do you remember?
I wish I could
do you remember what she was in?
Nancy. Her first name's Nancy.
What was
She's
she
older.
in?
I can't remember.
Okay.
She's everywhere.
Well, share the thing. Maybe it'll pop up.
Okay. So just the other night, there were people talking, and she says, "You know what I do when I screw up like this?" She goes like this. She goes, "Nowadays, this is what I do. I go, Nancy, I'm so happy you screwed up and made that mistake. I'm so happy you're stepping out and doing these things.
Yeah.
Risking.
Good on you. Yeah, good on you.
Dude, can I gotta share this because this is really helping me with like my process with relating to my work. Because after I facilitated this big meeting, I'm on this diversity.
Oh,
equity.
I'm sorry. Your time's up now.
Yeah. No.
I'm a shrink.
No, I shared more openly and boldly with the staff than I ever have, right? And then from within me, the most like critical voice that I hadn't heard since I was like a little kid was telling me, you should never do that again. You're like, you did so, it's like this toxin like came up to the surface.
You should have kept your head down.
I did exactly what I've been saying I want to do. It's just, I want to use my voice more now. I want to be up on stages telling people this education system is not even going to exist in 10 years. I've been saying these bold things. I did it. And then this voice was so critical. Like I felt like hell afterwards, but I meditated, I reflected on it and let it go. But it was amazing how that because when you were saying the thing that's been coming up, it's like when I'm doing my thing, I know it. I know I'm really good at it. But to step out and say and trust that I'm going to be able to deliver in a bigger way and to actually do it.
Yeah.
Like I feel those old voices like coming up.
I told you before when we were sitting out there and I was eating that terrible breakfast sandwich you bought for me. I was sitting there and I did a show at the Improv in Hollywood recently. I thought, oh God, why am I driving all the way there? There's all the kids are half my age.
Well, let them know how far you're driving.
I live in Palm Springs. It's around 2 hours.
2-hour drive.
Yeah, but I come in and I do other things. I see friends and I go to meetings and stuff like that. So I always make the day fun. But I think, oh, why am I doing this? Anymore? Coming in to do this. And, as I said, all the comedians were half my age and they're all doing, shit and fucking piss jokes and all that kind of stuff that I don't do. And they're all sort of hip and cool and wearing their little outfits and they're pretty. And some of them I want to see naked. And and they're doing their shows, and I'm at the end because I'm supposedly the well-known guy. Great, so that's when everybody gets tired on a school night, and I'm thinking, oh God, by the time they get to me, they're all half is going to walk out. Yeah. And then I did one of the best sets I've done in the last year, and I thought, wow, And then one of my friends had come to see me, and I said, what'd you think? And she said, oh God, I feel so weird saying this out loud. She said, it's like you got on stage and said, this is how you do it.
Wow.
And I'm going to remember that.
Yeah.
On the days that I feel so, because you get beat up.
Yeah, but that was the real.
You get beat up by this business a lot because there's a lot of people that can only see things as, in a very limited way.
I really relate.
And then I met this manager that I might be working with. And, it's a new manager. So that we'll see what happens. And it gave me a shot.
That's so cool. But that was the real you that got out there.
Yeah, totally.
I just went in there and said how I feel.
Yes.
But it's also really hard, it's like when you get ready to do your class, you have to put yourself in a mindset.
Yes.
And then I'm realizing as an actor, when I was doing Birth of a Nation, when I was doing The Immortal, when I was doing, I'm trying to think of movie, when I did Love, for Judd Apatow, when I'm doing certain things, and I allowed myself the focus. Yes. And like you talked about all the other stuff. Yeah. Didn't allow it. Yeah. And just sat there. And sometimes people want to talk to you on the set. Yeah. And sometimes I can't. Yeah. And people say, oh, like Christian Bale blew up on a set once. Right. And I don't at all say it's okay that he did that, but I understand why he did. Yeah, because what you do is so hard. Right. And the focus to make it look that easy. Yes. People forget that he's a human being.
That's right.
I was in a movie with Faye Dunaway once, Oscar winner, just Emmy winner, everything. And she has quite a reputation. Right. This was probably around 15, 18 years ago. And I was so excited to be in a movie with someone that iconic. And I played a talk show host that sort of gets her, have a gotcha moment with you kind of thing with her character. And she played this older woman whose son who had killed her ex-husband by accident, or her late husband. And I went over and I said, hi, how are you? And I said, is there anything I can do for you, Faye, while we're doing? He said, no, let's just do the lines. And I did the lines with her and she completely changed. Wow. and she was so warm, and she saw that I was going to be there for her because
Yeah.
I showed up and did my job and did my work. It was the first time I knew that.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And then we did the scene, and then while we were doing her coverage, that means her part of the camera,
Yeah.
she said, we have to stop. He's in my eye line. You have to move. And that sounds very like, don't look at me.
Right.
And people don't even understand what that means. That means she had to cry in that scene. There was this moment of emotion, and she couldn't have somebody walk. She had to have a private moment.
Right.
So it's very hard to
yeah.
do. And by her doing that, I learned, I could say, hey, I need this to do this scene.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're a jerk for being,
No.
he didn't know.
No, I hear that.
He didn't know that. And I learned so much from her
Yeah.
in that moment of how to do that. Because I was on the Drew Carey show in the 90s, and Drew was an old comedy friend of mine, and I was so nervous. I had not done a guest star on a show since I was 19.
Right,
My first
right.
job was a guest star on a sitcom, and then I hadn't done one for 20 years. It was so hard for me to get work. And he gave me this job. He called him and said they fired somebody who couldn't do it, and they hired me to replace him.
Whoa.
I was so nervous on that show, and I didn't know certain things. I played the manager of a department store, and they were having this contest in the department store where they would use items in the like a vacuum running or relay race and all sort of sports things with household items. And I thought, that must be a real thing. And I was so nuts and so crazy.
Right.
I thought, I don't even know what this is. I couldn't remember my lines because I didn't understand what it was. And I was afraid to ask any questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I was wrong.
Oh.
I went to a friend's house. I asked her support. I learned it. I came in. I kicked ass. I left. But I made myself so crazy.
Yes.
And I remember thinking to myself, whenever I talk to people, because I coach people now too, and I always say, ask questions.
Yes.
It's okay to ask a question.
Yes.
It's okay you're not perfect, that
Right.
you don't know everything.
Yeah. The day after I spoke, because I knew I've been practicing. I have a master's in spiritual psychology. I went to school. I got these tools. I've learned all this stuff from these readings. I knew what was going on. It's like bringing up all the old shit that's trying to, get. So I came to work and I said, you know what? I'm not even going to sit in my car and listen to the voice that thinks everyone's looking at me because of what I said. I said, no, I'm letting that go. And I kept blessing it. I kept blessing it because there's a lot of forlorn looking people in a school. They carry a lot of weight. When I beat myself up, I think that it's because of me. But this today, I was like, no, that can't be. That can't be. As soon as I really let it go, I walked into the staff lounge and a woman came to me and said, that was so positive what you said yesterday. Thank you so much. That was the most loving thing I've heard from anyone in so long, and we needed to hear it. And then the other lady who was on the committee sent out this video of this educator, this TED Talk that said, every student needs a champion. And she said, did you see that video? That's you. I sent that because that's you.
Wow.
As soon as I let go and because I know if I'm going to share what I got to share, I have to trust myself, kind of like, was it Faye Dunaway you were talking about?
Yeah.
I have to trust that I've been doing this a long time. Get out of my way. This is what needs to come through.
But there's another way to do it. I have to trust, not get out of my way. Hey, I'm doing my work now.
I agree.
I need doing my. You never have to be mean to anybody else.
No.
But you can say some people don't stop. I was in another movie where the woman, the assistant gal, would not stop. I said, hey, I need to be alone to do this part.
Right. For me, it's more the voices in my head
Yes.
that I got to be like, please step aside. I know what I'm doing.
Right.
Because
Yes.
at the meeting, I was really listening, but my mind started going, who are you to do that?
Yes.
Who are you?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I do that all the time
Yeah.
still. I call it's like that cartoon when we were kids where the air goes in one ear and comes out the
Yeah.
other. That's what I think. And I call it first thought.
Mm-hmm.
First thought means nothing most of the time. It's usually the wreckage of my past. And if it's hysterical, it's historical.
Yeah. I love that. So,
Well, we got to wrap up soon.
yeah, I'm not even going to bother reading the terrible joke we had because for our other guests,
Thank God.
we have
Thank you. Look what I did. You don't have to hear a terrible
But
joke because of me.
Can you lay a joke on us? You got
Two
a joke?
Jews. Oh wait, a joke?
Yeah.
please.
Two Jews walked into a bar. Oh, it was me and my mother.
All right. You can't top that.
Oh, can you share about your book a little bit? Let people
Yeah.
know.
I have an autobiography. It's called "Shut Up, I'm Talking."
Uh-huh.
And where'd I get the title? Okay, I'll tell you. So the publisher called me and said, "You cannot call the book I'm not Barbara Streisand. I wanted that to be the name of the book because the first chapter is called Simply Barbara, and it tells the story of when I saw Funny Girl when I was a kid and how it changed my life.
Yes.
And how I saw a woman who looked like she grew up in my neighborhood, who was Jewish, who was funny on the outside, sad on the inside. She was in love with Omar Sharif. I was in love with Omar Sharif. And then I thought, oh my God, if I'm in love with Omar Sharif, who am I to be? Barbara Streisand. So it completely screwed me up, but it also gave me a place of who I was a little.
Yeah.
And so she meant a lot to me as a kid. She was like the Lady Gaga of her time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I wanted to call, and he calls me, the publisher calls me and says, you can't do that. They're going to sue us. She's got a book coming out. I said, no, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
I said, publicity is good publicity. He said, no. So I called my mother on the phone. I said, Ma, they won't let me use my title. What am I going to do? She says, I don't know. I said, Ma, please, shut up. I'm talking. That's the name.
Wow.
That's how miracles
Funniest
happen.
thing
Yes.
right there.
It's my life story, and in the subtitle is Coming Out in Hollywood, Making It to the Middle, and how I survived in show business. And it's not just about show business; it's also about being different.
Yes.
And what it's like to show up, suit up. To dealing with a father who was a Holocaust survivor, dealing with a mother who got married really young and pregnant at 17, and
That's like my mom.
all the stuff, and it ends with how a liberal gay Jew could get a part in a movie called The Birth of a Nation as playing a white heterosexual Christian plantation owner in 1831.
It's amazing.
How if you work really hard, sometimes wonderful things happen.
Yeah. What's amazing is by you stepping out so boldly, you're going to end up being the one who leads all the people who thought it wise to push people to the side. They're eventually going to have to figure out who they are too. We're all going to have to do it, and you're leading the way for
Well, I'm
everyone.
hoping, they say when you break the ground, do you get to walk on it? Well, I'm going to.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Sharing all this amazing energy. Maybe we should kick him out and wrap up the show, man.
You want to do our 3 breaths? He'll love our 3
Oh,
breaths.
yeah. You can breathe with us.
We do 3 healing breaths.
Yeah, you're going to love it.
You're going to know these 3 breaths.
Okay, hold on.
Why don't you do the first one?
Okay. I'm going to do the first one. Now,
How about we're going to do 3. You do the first one. Then let's just do the second and third.
Oh, make up your mind, for God's sake.
We're changing things for you, buddy, because we
Yeah.
love you so much.
well, yeah, because I grew up in New Jersey.
Hold on, my mother and my
Broad-
sister. I'm faded away
Well, wait.
Chinatown. No wire hangers.
Listen,
Let's move on.
You loved Barbara Streisand. This is the lady Broadway show actress that got me excited.
Another person you don't remember?
No, I remember this
Okay,
one.
who is it?
You're gonna have to listen first.
Okay, go ahead.
We'll do the big reveal at the
Go
end.
ahead,
Ready?
Go ahead.
Sometimes you have a spit take. I just bang the back of my head on the wall.
It's okay. You'll still be the same person you are before.
Okay. Are you guys ready?
I don't know who
I've
I
been
am
ready
anymore.
since the 70s.
Okay, take a deep cleansing breath. You ready?
Okay, take a breath.
I almost called him Peter. What's his name? What's your name again?
Jay Stu.
Okay.
Come on, lay it on us.
Okay. I'll be swell. I'll be great. Gonna have the whole world on a plate.
You want to take this one?
Everything's coming up roses.
I'll be swell. I'll be great. Gonna have the whole world on a plate.
Starting here, starting now.
Baby, everyone's coming up roses.
roses.
I want to tell you something. Somebody did a whole night in Palm Springs about her. I wanted to kill myself. I wanted to say, Ethel Merman, stop screaming.
Ethel Merman.
And she sang the same 3 songs on every show. There's,
I could do it better than you.
I'm sure. Show business.
There's no business like show business. There's no business I know.
And then what's the other one?
The other one is anything you can do, I can do better.
Anything you can do, I can do best. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know what that was.
I can do anything better than you.
I have to tell you, I didn't like her. She drove me crazy. I don't know. I think the reason she was such a big star is because she had such a big voice and they didn't have microphones then. That's why.
That's true.
Some people's going to get really mad that I'm not a big Ethel Merman fan. But she certainly was talented, but everything, but she actually had a disco album of her.
Oh, no, that was horrible. I was alive during that.
It was frightening.
Yeah, that was.
And then,
why did they do that
when she
to
was
her?
in the airplane movie, and she played herself as a drag queen.
Oh,
Remember?
I
my
forgot
God.
that.
Yeah, and she started singing, "I'll be great, I'll be swell," or whatever it is.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, why don't we just do this?
What?
Thank you for being a part of Funniest Thing with Darrell and Ed, Jason Stewart, live from Chobo Studios. Let's just sing in this one little verse.
Oh, wait,
right
can I
here.
say one more thing before
Yeah,
we go?
go for
If
it.
anybody wants to get a hold of me, just go to jasonstewart.com, STUART, and you can contact
It's a very
me.
lovely website.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, not every website is. Yours is.
Wow, thanks.
So go there.
Yeah, please. And I have all my social medias there, and I'd love to hear from all of you. And I do return all of my own stuff.
That's amazing. All the most professional people that we have ever reached out to,
Get back to us right away.
They handle their stuff. They get back right away.
Well, because Ethel would.
That's right. How about this? Stepping out with my baby. Can't go wrong because I'm in right. It's for sure, not for maybe. That I'm all blessed up tonight. Woo!
Okay.
Jason Stewart.
Thank you. Let's never have them do that again.
Yes. Thank you, Jason.
Thanks for having me on.